Hello, welcome back to the newest episode of e-commerce clearly. So over the last few days I was reading ICICI Securities massive report called Decoding New Age Tech in India, and honestly I expected another report telling me that Indian e-commerce is growing, quick commerce is booming, AI is coming and everything is moving online. But a few insights genuinely surprised me. In fact, by the end of the report I walked away thinking that India's e-commerce story is probably much bigger than most of us realize. Today, I want to focus on four areas: e commerce, quick commerce, B2B commerce, logistics, because together they tell a fascinating story where the Indian e commerce is heading towards over the next decade. Let's start with e commerce. One statistic immediately stood out to me. India has around 970 million internet users, but only around 250 to 270 million online shoppers. Think about that for a second. We spend so much time talking about Amazon, Flipkart, Meesho, Myntra, Nykaa, and every other major platform that it almost feels like e commerce is already everywhere. But when you look at the data, we are not even close. Less than half of internet users are shopping online today, which means the next phase of growth isn't going to come from convincing existing shoppers to buy more. It's going to come from bringing entirely new shoppers online. And that's where tier 2 and tier 3 India become important. Better logistics, UPI, affordable smartphones, regional language content, greater trust in online transaction. All of these factors are creating conditions for the next wave of e-commerce adoption. But here's the part that genuinely surprised me. I think many people, including me, have underestimated Flipkart. I'll be honest. Going into this report, I expected Amazon's dominance to stand out. Instead, I came away thinking Flipkart has quietly built a much stronger position in Indian e-commerce than I previously appreciated. For years, the conversation has been Amazon versus everybody else. But when you start looking at category leadership, consumer reach, and ecosystem influence, Flipkart keeps showing up as the dominant player. Not just competing, leading, and perhaps leading by more than many of us realize. Sometimes the market leader is the company making the most noise. Sometimes it's the company quietly executing year after year, and Flipkart increasing feels like the second one. Now let's talk about quick commerce, because I think most people still misunderstand what's happening here. If I say quick commerce, most people immediately think milk, bread, vegetables, and emergency grocery purchases, but that's becoming an outdated way of looking at the category. What we are actually seeing is the emergence of a new retail infrastructure. Dark stores are no longer just grocery fulfillment centers, they are becoming miniature warehouses embedded inside cities. Today, consumers are ordering beauty products, electronics, personal care, pet supplies, gifting products, and dozens of categories that traditionally belong to e commerce. Which raises an interesting question. Are Blinkit, Zepto, and Instamart really competing with each other, or they are competing with every retail store around you? Because if consumers get used to receiving products in 10 or 15 minutes, expectations permanently change. And once consumer expectations change, markets rarely move backwards. The real story of quick commerce isn't speed, the real story is habit formation. Now let's move to what was my biggest takeaway from the entire report: B2B commerce. Because consumers get all the attention, consumers create headlines, consumers create viral content, but businesses spend far more money than consumers. The report estimates India's B2B market could reach around $2.5 trillion by 2030, and yet the digital penetration is still under 2%. Under 2%, that number is crazy. Think about how many businesses still operate through phone calls, distributors, brokers, spreadsheets, and WhatsApp messages. Whether it's a contractor buying construction materials, a retailer purchasing inventory, a restaurant sourcing ingredients, or a manufacturing procuring new raw materials, a huge amount of commerce is still happening offline. And that's exactly why this opportunity is so massive. What happened in consumer commerce over the last decade could happen in business commerce over the next decade. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the next great Indian commerce company doesn't sell to consumers at all. Maybe the next giant serves businesses, because that's where one of the largest untapped opportunity exists today. And finally, logistics, possibly the most underappreciated part of commerce. Nobody celebrates logistics when it works, everybody notices when it breaks down. One insight from the report really stood out: many logistic companies became heavily dependent on volumes coming from platforms like Meesho. When pricing pressures increased and profitability became harder to achieve, several smaller players started facing significant challenges, and what followed was consolidation. And the biggest example is delivery acquiring Ecom Express. What's interesting is that we often think e-commerce creates endless winners, but that's not always true. Sometimes scale becomes so important that only a few large players survive, and logistics may be entering that phase. Fewer players, more consolidation, better pricing discipline, greater focus on profitability rather than pure growth, which means the future of logistics may look very different from what we've seen over the last few years. And that's really my biggest takeaway from this report. The story isn't e-commerce, the story isn't quick commerce, the story isn't B2B, the story isn't logistics. The story is how all of these pieces are becoming interconnected. E-commerce creates demand, quick commerce changes consumer expectations, B2B commerce digitizes supply chain, logistic connects everything together. And when you look at the entire ecosystem, it becomes obvious that the Indian e-commerce is still evolving. In fact, if this report is directionally correct, we are probably much closer to the beginning of the story than the end. And that's what makes the next 5 years so interesting to watch. That's it for today's episode. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.